Dear students, today we have to discuss the topic that is join in SQL. This is a program for BTech Mechanical 6th semester third year student. Or the subject code is Mechanical 606 RDBMS Lab. Or the topic is join in SQL. This is lecture number 12. Myself, Srish Mondu, Assistant Professor, ITM CSE. Now, first we have to discuss the content of this PPT. First one is prerequisite of topic. Then after, what is join in DBMS. Then after we have to discuss the types of the join. There is basically two types of join. First one is inner join and second is the outer join. And then after we have to further divide our inner join into two parts, and the outer join is divided into three parts. In the inner join, that is divided into two parts, that is natural join and the theta join. In the outer join is divided into three parts, that is left outer join, right outer join, and the full outer join. Then after we have to discuss the advantage, disadvantage of join, exercise question, learning outcome, and the references. Now first we have to discuss the prerequisite of topic. So the prerequisite of topics. First one we have to discuss the different clause in SQL. So what is the clause? Clause is just like a condition where we have to use for a particular column or particular table, and the clause just like a condition or it is just like a protocol. So different type of clauses. First one we have to discuss the where clause, where we have to use a condition, and second one is we can use a order by clause, and the third one we can use a group by clause. So order by clause just like a sorting of a particular table fields, we can use a order by clause, or group by clause we have to perform the aggregate function with the group by clause. Then after, the student should have a general idea about the set operation and the aggregate function. So what is the set operation? Set operation just like a we have to perform the different type of operation in a particular table, just like a union, all, intersection, all type of this type of operation we can perform a two or one or more table, and it can be given the result for a particular table's form. Okay, and aggregate function always perform in a group. Okay, it can be calculate the value of a group in a particular single value. That aggregate function is a five types of aggregate function we can use: sum, average, minimum, max, and the count. All type of uh, these type of function is known as an aggregate function. And then after that, the student should have a general idea about the conjunctive operator in a SQL. So different type of operator we can discuss in a previous programming language, just like a relational operator, just like a relational arithmetic operators, conditional operators, increment operator, decrement operator. Now we have to discuss the conjunctive operator. So these conjunctive operators have a two types. First one is a and second is a or. It is also known as a logical operator. So this type of operator we have to discuss the we can perform in a particular table, and then give the outputs for a and operators and the or operators. And then after that we have to discuss the general idea about the constraint. So constraint is also known as a conditions where we have to perform in a constraint or condition in a particular column or particular tables. There is a four or five types of constraint we have to discuss. First one is a not null constraint, and second is a unique constraint. So not null constraint, if you have to create a particular table, and there is a different type of field in a particular tables, there is a no chances if you have to declare the not null constraint. So there is a no chances to value of a particular column is not null. Unique constraint, it provides a unique constraint in a particular column. Then after that, primary constraint, foreign constraint, and the check constraint. So all type of constraint we have to discuss in this topics. And then after, we have to discuss the next topic is a view in SQL. So what are the meaning of the view in SQL? View is just like a virtual table in a SQL, and this view is created for a security purpose, also a security purpose. And we have to choose a particular columns in a existing tables, and that functions is performed in a view. If you will choose the particular column, or selective column in a particular table, we can use the view function. Okay. Then after that, student should have a general idea about the transaction control language in SQL. So transaction control language, what is the transaction? Transaction just like you can change the database, you can modify the database. These type of changes and updation of the database known as the transactions, and it can be provide the basic property. There is a four type of property are here. First one is First one is asset. First one is atomicity. The property is asset, and the first one is atomicity. Then C is a consistency, I for isolation, and D for durability. And we can use the some commands for a transaction control language, just like a commit commands, and the second one is a revoke command, rollback command. So all type of commands we can use in transition control language in SQL. So we can discuss the prerequisite or topic. In previous topic, we have to general idea or general knowledge about the previous topic. Now we can discuss the new topic, that is join. So what is the join in DBMS? What is the join in DBMS? Join in DBMS is a binary operation which allow to combine the join products and selection in one single statement. Join operation. What is the function of the join operation? Join operation used in a DBMS just like a binary operation. Binary means more than one operation we can perform, and combine join products and selection in a single statement. So that is the function of the join. How we can use a join in a two or more tables and combine in a single statement. The goal of the creating a join condition is the help to combine the data from two or more DBMS table. What is the goal of the join condition? The goal of creating a join condition is help the combine the data from two or more DBMS. It can be help combine the data from two or more DBMS tables. So the tables are DBMS associated using the primary key and the foreign key. So there's a basic goal of the join, and the basic goal of the join is that it helps the combine the data in two or more DBMS tables, or the tables in DBMS associated using the primary key or the foreign key. So that is the join in DBMS or type. We can discuss. We are discuss the types of the join. There is a two type of join: inner join, that is all so categorized into types: theta in the natural join, and second one is outer join. This is also categorized in the left, right, and the full join. Now, what is the inner join? So inner join used to return rows from both tables which satisfy the given condition, or it is the most widely used join operation and can be considered as a default join type. So now we have to discuss the first type, that is inner join. So what is the function of the inner join? Inner join used to return rows from the both table which satisfy the given condition. Inner join. What is the function of inner join? Inner join return rows from both tables which satisfy the given condition. Means there is a two type of where are two tables, and there is a two tables, and then we can perform the inner join, and it can be result or a single statement. So most widely join operation and can consider as a default join type. Okay. Now inner join. In inner join or equi join is a comparators based join which uses equality comparison in the join predicates. Inner join further divided into two subtypes: zeta join and the natural join. So we are talking about the inner join. So inner join or equi join जो होते हैं, that is use a comparative based join. Means we have to use a equality comparison in the joint predicates. Or there's a two types divided into two subtypes: theta join and the natural join. Now we are talking about the theta join. There is a syntax of the theta join, and that is R1 and then this and theta R2. So R1 and R2 are the relations having an attribute A1 AN and B1 B2 BN, such that the attribute don't have anything in the common. Such that their attribute don't have anything in common. That is R1 intersection R2 is equal to 5. The join can use all kind of comparison operator. In the case of the join, in the case of a theta join, we can use the comparison operator. Now we have to discuss this for a given example. There's an example. First, there's two tables: student and the subject. There's a two table: student and subject. Student has a three fields and subject has a two fields. Student has a contain the SID, that is student ID, name and the students, and subject is a class in the subject. Now example, student detail. Okay, student detail now we can create a new field, new table, that is student detail, student dot std or equal to subject dot class subjects. मतलब हम यहाँ पे स्टूडेंट्स के अंतर्गत स्टूडेंट एसटीडी को ले रहे हैं और इक्वल टू किसको कर रहे हैं, सब्जेक्ट डॉट क्लास सब्जेक्ट्स को कर रहे हैं। सब्जेक्ट आपकी क्लास है, यहाँ पे सब्जेक्ट आपका यहाँ पे टेबल है, स्टूडेंट यहाँ पे टेबल है, हम यहाँ पे फील्ड क्या ले रहे हैं, स्टूडेंट डॉट एसटीडी और सब्जेक्ट डॉट क्लास। तो यहाँ पे हमने जब इसको कंबाइन किया तो दिस इज द कंबाइंड टेबल ऑफ द बोथ टेबल स्टूडेंट एंड सब्जेक्ट्स। तो एसआईडी नेम एसटीडी क्लास एंड सब्जेक्ट 101 एलेक्स 10 10 एंड मैथ्स, and then after 101 Alex 10 10 or English, 102 Maria, and 11 11 music, and 102 Maria 11 11 sport. तो this is the theta join, जहाँ पर हम किस तरह से दो टेबल को कंबाइन कर, ठीक। नाउ द नेचुरल जॉइन, तो नेचुरल जॉइन डज नॉट एनी कंपैरिजन ऑपरेटर, यहाँ पर हम कंपैरिजन ऑपरेटर को यूज नहीं करेंगे, और इट डज नॉट कॉन्कैटिनेट द कार्टेशियन प्रोडक्ट्स। जिसे हम कार्टेशियन प्रोडक्ट्स की बात करते हैं, तो कार्टेशियन प्रोडक्ट हम क्या करते हैं, कॉन्कैटिनेट करते हैं टू टेबल्स को, बट इट कैन नॉट बी कॉन्कैटिनेट टू टेबल्स। We can perform natural join if there is a least one common attribute that exists between two relations. Means there is a one condition are there, one common attribute exists between the two relations. So in addition, the attribute must have a same name and the domain. So there is a one condition, the attribute have a same name and domain in both tables. So there is another example of the natural join. And natural join act as a matching attribute where the value of attribute in the both the relation are the same. So there is one condition of the natural join, the value of attribute both the relation are the same. So where here we have to use a two tables, course and the HOD. Course have a three fields, CID, course and the department, and HOD has a two field, department and the head. Okay, so we have to merge two tables, course, natural join HOD, so departments, then after CID. So which one is common field in a course and HOD? That is a department. So department is they are reduced there, and combine two tables, course and the HOD. So department, CID and the course and head. So this is your CS, mechanical and double E. CID, table created. This is the output of the natural join. So there are two type of join. First one is theta join and second one is natural. Now we have to discuss the outer join. Now we have to discuss the second one is outer join. So what is the outer join? So theta join, equijoin and the natural join are called the inner join. And the inner join include only those tuple with matching attributes. So what is the condition of the inner join? It can only match the attributes that is used in a particular tables, और rest are discarded in the resulting tables. ठीक है, और बाकी को हम क्या करते हैं यहाँ पे discard करते हैं. So that is the inner join condition कि only those tuple which are matching the attribute and rest of the discarding the resulting relation. Now we are talking about outer join. So therefore we need to use the outer join to include all the tuples from the participating relation in the resulting relation, and these are three kinds of the outer join. So here we have to discuss the outer join, where all the tuples of the outer join participating relation in the resulting relation, and there are three kinds of outer join. First one is the left, then second is a right outer join, and the last one is the full outer. So now we are talking about left outer join. So what is the left outer join? So what is the condition of the left outer join? So left outer join, what is this? R left outer join S. Okay. So all the tuples from the left relation are included in the resulting relation. हम क्या कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे, सारे के सारे जो tuples होंगे left relations के, वो R के द्वारा define किए जाएंगे, जो कि include कर रहा है resulting relations. So if there are tuples in R without any matching tuple in the right relation S, then S attribute of the resulting relation are made null. So that is the definition of the left outer join, where we have to compare two tables. Where we have to compare the two tables. Here we have to compare the two tables. If tuples in if there are tuples in R, R is a relation and S is another relation. If tuple relation R without any matching tuple in the right relation S, okay, then the S attribute of the resulting relation are made null. Okay, so here we have to define the left outer join, where we have to use two table R and S. If table R attribute are not matched in the relation S, then S attribute of the resulting relation are made null. So this is the syntax of the left outer join. There is a two table customer table, and then is a order table. Customer table have a four field ID, name, age, and salary, and the order table has a four field OID, date, and customer ID in the amount. Okay, so where here we have to perform the left outer join. R left outer join S means SQL select ID. We have to select the SQL select ID, name, comma, amount, date from customer left join order on customer dot id equal to order dot customer id, where the one field are common, that is id. I think it is a id is a common in customer table, in the order table customer id, and the order table in the customer id. Two fields are common in a particular two tables. So id, name, amount, and date, there the four fields are selected, because here we have to use in four columns: id, name, amount, and date. So id, name, amount, and date. So first one is id rn null, because there's no amount of rn here. There's no amount of the rn, it can be null. Then after date is also null, because there's no entry of the null in a order table. And then after that, second row is selected. Second row is id is 2 and the ROE in 3000, and date is 21 to 2012. Then after second one is another is ROE in 2000, and three one is Vineet, and fourth one is Ajit, and after that five is a Ravi. Five is a Ravi, but there's a no amount and no date, so it can be show that. So that is your left outer join. We can merge two tables, and left outer join. In the case of the left outer join, right side is the null. Okay, now we have to right outer join. Now we have to discuss the right outer join. So what is the function of the right outer join? In the case of right outer join, the opposite of the left outer. The right outer join return all the columns from the table on the right, even if no matching rows have been found in the table of the left. It means that in the case of the right join, returns all the columns in a table on the right, even no matching row have been found in the table on the left. So it's just like the opposite of the left outer join. In the case of the left outer join, no matching, the right side is a null. In the case of the right join, if no matching in the table, then left is a null. So where no matching have been found in the table on the left, null is written. Okay. So again, we have to perform in the right outer join. So our example, let's assume that you need to get the name of the members and movie. You need to get name of a member and movie written by them. So now we have new member who has not written any movie yet. Okay. तो इफ हमारे पास एक एग्जांपल है जहाँ पे हम अज्यूम कर रहे हैं कि जहाँ पे नेम ऑफ द मेंबर्स जो कि मूवी रिटर्न कर रहे हैं, ठीक है, गेट द नेम ऑफ द मेंबर मूवीज रिटर्न बाय देम, जिनके द्वारा मूवी को रिटर्न किया गया है, जो मूवी रिटर्न कर रहे हैं. तो नाउ वी हैव न्यू मेंबर हु हैव नॉट रिटर्न एनी मूवी येट. ठीक. So this is the syntax of right outer join. Now we have to perform the right outer join. So there's a two table. First one is class, and second is a class info. And class is a two field ID and name, and the class info is a two field ID and address. So one field are common between them. This is the ID. Now we can merge them and perform the right outer join. So the right outer join ID, name, ID, and address. So ID is one and name is Abhi, and ID is one and this is that. Okay, and second one is two, Adam, and two is a number, but there is a class ID and there is a class info ID. Okay, and three is Chennai, but ID is not mentioned in this field. That is okay. So ID is not matched there. Null, and the 7-8, and the 7-8. 7-8 is class info ID. Okay. Then after null, then 8 and 5. 8 and 5. Okay. So there's a combined of two tables, class and the class info, and we can perform the right outer join. And the class ID is the first table, and the class info is the second table. We can merge two tables and perform the right auto join. So the output is that ID name and ID address. So ID is a class ID, first, second, and third. Then after that, name. So first in Delhi, it is good. But after that, after the third column, the fourth row is null, null, and 7 Noida, and null, null, and 8 because there's a no ID are there mentioned. Okay, because 7 8 is a no ID, 4 5 is a ID, but 7 8 is no ID. Okay, so this is a null entry out there. This is the right outer join. Now we have to discuss the full outer join. Now we discuss the full join or full outer join. Full join create the result set by combining result of both left join and the right. Create the result set by combining result of left and the right outer join. And the result set contain the rows from both the tables. Contain the all the rows, both the tables, and the rows for which there is no matching, the result set will contain. Okay, so here is a full outer join where we have to combine the both the left and the right outer join. And the result set is a combine of all the rows in the both tables, and the rows which are there is no matching, then it can be result set in a null value. So this is the your example. Employee ID, employee name, city, and the salary age. There is the first table, and there is a 4 field employee ID, name, city, salary, and the age. And next one is a project. It is also a second table, that is project number, employee ID, and the department. So one can is the common, one thing is common employee ID. Now we can perform the full outer join. So employee name in the department. We can put the employee name in the employee table and department in the department table. So employee name in Angelina is a testing, and the Robert is a development, Christian is a designing, in the Kristen the development. But Russell and Mary is a null. Russell and Mary is a null. So where is a Russell? There is a Russell, but there is no department here. And the Mary, there is no department here. So Russell and the Mary is a null. So this is your full outer join where we have to combine two tables and matching the column of two tables. But there is a no matching, then it can be defined the null in a particular column. So advantage of join. What is the advantage of join? The advantage of join is include the execute join include that it executes faster. It can execute faster, and the retrieval time of the query using join almost will be faster than its subquery. तो जो retrieval time होगा query का जो कि हम join के through perform करा रहे हैं, it is always faster than the subquery. Or by using join, you can maximize the calculation burden on the database. You can calculate burden on the database instead of multiple queries using join. We cannot using the multiple queries in the join, but we can use the calculation or maximum calculation burden on the database. So this means you can make better use of database ability to search through, filter, sort. So it is a good advantages of join. We can use the join burden of the database and better use of the database ability to search through, filter, and sort. So this is the advantage of join. Disadvantage of join. What is the disadvantage of join? Disadvantage of using join include that they are not easy to read as subquery. They cannot read to easy to read as subqueries. Second one is more join in query means database server has to do more work, and which means more time consuming process to retrieve data. If you have to perform in a join query, or it can be database server has to more work. Okay, more join in a query means more work of the data server, and it can a more time consuming process to retrieve the data. Or last one is, as there is a different type of join, it can be confusing. So join is the appropriate type join to use yield the correct desired result set. If we can use a more than one type of a join. So there is some confusion about which type of join is which type of join is a satisfy for which type of condition, which type of desired result set. So it is a disadvantage of the join. So first one is using join include are not easy to read as a subqueries, and more joins query means database server has to more work, and it is a time consuming process to retrieve the data. And third one is there are different type of join, and there is some confusion in a join operation. For appropriate type of join we can perform for a desired result set. So this is the disadvantage of join. Now we come to the exercise question. There are the three type of question I have put there. First one is explain the concept of join. What is the concept of join? It can be merge two tables, fields, and give the result sets. but there's a different type of technique we can use. It is not a Cartesian product. All type of uh, uh, attributes are combined to each other. It is a different. It is a two type of inner join and outer join. Name of the two join, inner join and outer join. Inner join is also categorized in a two type, natural and the theta join. And outer join, it is categorized in three type: left outer join, right outer join, and the full outer join. What is the third one question? Define the left outer join and the right outer join. In the case of the left outer join, we can combine two tables, and the result set uh, the right column, yeah, right attributes are a null defined. In the right outer join, we can combine two tables. In the left attribute are defined the null. So that is the left outer join and the right outer join functions. And learning outcome, what is the learning outcome of this PPT? The learning outcome, what is the join and DBMS, type of the join, outer join, a type of the join, and learn about the inner join and outer join. And last one, we have to discuss the advantage and disadvantage of the join. So there's a lot of advantage and disadvantage of the join. This is the learning outcome we can learn for this PPT, and this is the CLO, that is student effective learning outcome. So what is the student effective learning outcome for this PPT? That is 1, 3, 5, and 13. 1 is defined the application of theoretical and practical concept, and the 3 is defined critical and innovative thinking skill. 5 is a design thinking ability, and 13 is adaptive thinking skill. So this is your CLO for this PPT. And references, we can use a course book and the Navate, and the two websites we can use. First one is a guru99.com and second is a tutorials.com. So this is the references we can use for this PPT. And this is the end of the PPT where we have to discuss the join in the SQL. Thank you, students. Thanks a lot.